Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Morgan. Super excited about this episode of Message in the Movie. We're kicking off with a show that I shared with you guys about a couple weeks ago. But just to kind of give some updates about Message in the Movie, I believe that if Jesus was walking the earth right now, like in human form, I think that he would be a filmmaker, because film and television is a great way to get messages out to people, to inspire people, to educate them, to enlighten them. And we know Jesus was a storyteller. He told parables all the time. And so whenever I watch a movie or watch a television show, there's deeper things that I'm able to receive, and which I think is what makes storytelling so incredible. And I just want to share one of the things that I learned with you all. So I would encourage everybody to check out Swagger. It's on Apple TV. This is the next show you need to binge watch. If you have not seen it, or those of you who just watched the first episode because I was in it, I appreciate you. Thank you. But I want you to finish the series because it is so good. Oh my gosh. I just watched one of the, I haven't finished it yet, but I have 2 more episodes left. I had a baby within the last 2 weeks, so it took me a little bit. So that's part of the reason why I look so tired right now. But I did try to play catch up and watch some of the other episodes, and I just was amazed with how every episode I felt like just got better and better, and we went deeper in the story. Shout out to the writers. The writers in the writers' room did a phenomenal job. I was in the first episode of Swagger. This was prior to COVID, prior to the assassinations of Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor. So prior to our world completely shifting, and to see, and I was impressed with the script from jump, like the first episode script, and I got a chance to see the second episode script as well. I was impressed. But these writers, they took what we're dealing with now, or what we were dealing with last year, and they creatively incorporated it into this phenomenal story that already existed, and they did such a beautiful job. And so I just really want to say kudos to you guys, and thank you all for creating something that was just so relevant and thought-provoking and honest. I just loved it. And the actors, Isaiah Hill, from my understanding, he plays Jace Carson, the main character in it. Young actor, so talented, incredibly humble. From my understanding, this is like his first major production. I think I'm correct in that. But he does such a phenomenal job as Jace Carson, the main character. Was really sweet on set. So he did a phenomenal job. Got a chance to meet Jordan Rice, who plays his sister, who also did an incredible job. O'Shea Jackson plays Ike, the main character, who's mentoring and coaching the basketball player Jace Carson, and he's doing great on the show. I mean, it's just such a wonderful show. Also, I want to make sure I pronounce her name correctly. She just does a phenomenal job. Quvenzhané Wallis had me crying. You guys have to watch it. Her performance had me in tears. Just so authentic. And so, and also got a chance to work with Chanel Azaro, some of the other young actors, Solomon Arima, Khalil Harris, James Bingham, Ozzy. So anyway, all these performers did a phenomenal job. But here's the takeaway. Okay. 1, what I love about this story is that it shows the behind the scenes of what our kids are going through. So if you have a child between ages of 9 and up, I would highly recommend, or you work with children, you're a teacher, a guidance counselor, a youth pastor, you work with children in any capacity, I would highly recommend you watching this show, because the message that I received, specifically in the episode that Rachel Letterman directed, it shows Crystal, who's played by Quvenzhané Wallis, what she's going through, right? So something happens. I'm not going to give it away, because I really want you to watch the show. But something happens to her, a traumatic event happens, which causes her life to be altered, and it causes her grades to slip, her attitude to change, her interactions to be different. And all the adults see is that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Your paper was, you got to see, you're being disrespectful, and not looking deeper and saying what happened and what's going on with you. And I think for me, as I was watching that, probably because I'm a new mom, I have a daughter, she's 2 weeks old, I just was like, I just want to always be aware. I know that we as parents, like now I'm a parent, we as parents can get caught up just in being adults, like adulting, paying bills, going to work, making sure you got a roof over your head, all those things which are really important. But what I see in the show is how these kids, these 8th graders, 8th, 9th graders, are going through real life stuff. And they need help. They need guidance. They need someone to take a moment and take some time to pay attention and say, I got you. You know, and I love how the writers incorporated real situations, from your first crush to, you know, dealing with abuse at home, to self-esteem issues, to sexual assault, to, you know, just all these different, how do you as a 13-year-old, how do you process the pandemic? How are you as a 14-year-old processing, you know, police brutality as a person of color? Like, how's that weighing on you, and how's that impacting you? And I just think they were able to really do a phenomenal job in creating an opportunity for us, both as adults and also as young people, to feel like they have a voice, but also for us as adults to say, wow, I need to listen to that voice. And so I really want to encourage everybody. And that's not just when it goes down to like children, but one thing that I feel like the major message that I pulled out from this show is just take a step back, to put yourself in their shoes. Take a step back and ask yourself, why? Why are you acting like this? Why are you responding in, you know, a rude manner? Why are you being aloof? Why are you, instead of being so defensive, or instead of like having to, you know, have the last word or get your point across, taking a moment to just say why? Because there were times when I was screaming at the screen, like, just ask her what's wrong, you know, check on him. Like, because I know as a viewer what I saw in the scene prior, you know, as a spectator from the outside looking in. And so just praying that people, when they watch this show, that they too, just like how I did, just thought about my daughter, thought about the kids that I've mentored, thought about just how many times we missed it, you know. So kudos, thank you, Reggie Rock Bythewood, the showrunner, concept creator. I'm so thankful that you and Kevin Durant teamed up, and Apple TV, you know, is showing and you know, partnered with you guys to bring Swagger to the world. This is a really, really good show, and I would encourage all of you to watch it. It makes you think. It makes you proud. I'm so excited about it, and even if I didn't have a small part to play in it, I would for sure be pushing it like this because it is so good. And so I really am just so impressed, and I'm looking for, and I pray that there's a season 2, because there's a lot more things that can be covered. It just was such a great show. So youth pastors, guidance counselors, parents, watch this show, and I encourage you to watch it with your youth. And this is a great time to ask questions and see how they feel. And it's a fun show. So, you know, you got basketball, you got, you know, people hooping and doing all this kind of stuff, and quite, you know, comedy, and it's good. Romance, it's good. So, but it's a great opportunity just to have some conversations with our young people who oftentimes do not want to talk, right? So a great time when y'all watch the show and be like, hey, what you think about this? Let's talk about this topic. And you'd be surprised about what you'll hear when you're willing to sit down and listen. So that's the message in the movie for today. Watch Swagger, Apple TV. I'm super excited. This is the show you need to binge watch, you and your young person. All right, God bless.